Hey guys, Jack Spirko here. We've just about worn out. The intended purpose of this indoor aquaponics system was the educational program for this winter. Probably, let's see if these guys will eat. I already fed them today, so I don't know if they'll eat for you. They're eating a little bit, but we've kind of already gotten to where they probably wouldn't die if I took them out of here and put them back in one of the main systems, but it wouldn't eat like they're eating now, and their growth rate would slow, and we could get a cold snap. So I'm going to wait another week or two, and then this system is going to get drained, and it's actually going to get relocated. I'll show you where we're going to relocate. It's going to be a permanent outdoor system. It's going to be much larger, but this 300-gallon tank will be the heart of it. We do have enough time to get another crop of sunflower shoots out of it, so let's take a look at that. And this really isn't an aquaponics update. This is a property update. I'm going to take you guys around and show you some of the things I've been working on, but we're just going to start here. Lots going on. You see, they were soaked for a day, and they were underneath this foam. I numbered as a little puzzle, so I can always put it back together the way I want it, for 2 days. And we're starting to get a nice push up now. Time to give them some light. Being confounded by my ingenious fitting puzzle back there. Anyway, it's time for that to start growing. A little daikon from last time. Chickens are angry with me. The little chickens are mad. I let a crop not get planted for about a week, so they haven't had any for their breakfast for a while. Anyway, what we're going to do, I got some fish food here soaking. That softens it up, and these bluegills lets the smaller ones get some, so we're going to go out and see in the Miyagi pond, the timber frame pond. How you doing, Charlie? We're going to see if everybody's up and at them yet. It was kind of cold last night. Sometimes when it's cold at night, you know, they're kind of slow moving in the morning, but I fed the ones in the greenhouse already and they ate, so these guys will probably eat for us. Spring is springing here. You can see when the fish start really, there they go, right away, huh? Hammering food, you know. And I got quite a bit of fish in here, so we'll give them quite a bit of food. And then what I'll do, I'll take some of this and I'll ball this up. I may have to do this off camera later because you really got to get it balled tight to get it to sink. But I'll do that and make a couple golf ball size pieces because I got catfish down there. And even though I've shown you catfish will eat on the surface, yeah, it's sinking. So I'll feed them the rest later. Let me wash my hand off of there. So, I believe I did show you guys in a previous video, I've gone ahead and converted 2 of these concrete mixing tray ebb and flow beds. You see, even though the mitt froze completely off in our harsh freeze, it's all coming back now. But I had 4 of these up here, and I went and converted them to basically wicking beds, because this system really can't be an aquaponics system unless we got a lot more beds and a lot more fish and balance that out. But since I've planted it, it's really started to take off. And last night I was out here, I put peas in it, and you can see the little peas are just starting to come up. I've got peas at different sowing periods throughout the property. Try to get peas for as long as we can, because it'll go from being cold to hot really soon. Yeah, there's a couple of them right there. Anyway, this is just a simple wicking bed. If you look down in there, you can see the water overflowing, a little Swiss chard, and this whole system's starting to look pretty good. So they stopped eating, so they're eating a little bit at a time. I won't feed them anymore. Once they stop eating, I'll stop feeding them, and they'll probably eat a lot more today. Like I said, I'll come back and I'll crush that remainder of that food up into balls and sink it, and not only will the catfish eat them, but I find that the bluegills and all the other fish in here, when something sinks, they're a lot more likely to eat it. Let's see if that little one sinks there. Yeah, it's sinking. I bet you'll see them come and get it even though they stop eating on the surface here in just a second. Here they come. See it? Boom. They like that food down there where they're at. They got to be hungry and active to come up there and feed on the surface. But it is the easier way to feed them, so we try to train them to that. I've got some in other tanks. I can literally reach in and pull one out, pet them while they're eating. But we'll leave that food over there, and I'll come back and take care of that in a bit. got an overflow going somewhere here. I can tell because that pond has dropped significantly. Either that or just when I turned it up. Yeah, we'll just add some water. We got no worries. Nothing's overflowing. But the valves have slowed down. So this tank's now just holding a lot more water than it was because our rate of flow is a lot higher. So that means that one's dropped. So I don't want to do that because I'll forget. Dana leaping over the fence. I'll forget that I have the hose running and I'll make a big washout. So we'll take care of that off camera. This is the side of the next big aquatics build actually, and we've decided we're not going to do a true timber frame pond. I found 10-foot round, 1,100 gallon stock tank, 30 inches deep at Atwood's. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rent an excavator for a weekend. We're going to pull that out, and we should be able to get at least 15 inches of depth there for it. That'll mean it's only 15 inches above grade. And we'll use 12-foot 4x4s, and we'll build a box around it. And then we'll fill that with dirt. That'll give us a 2-foot ledge. It'll look nice and polished like that one, but we won't have to fiddle around with a huge, heavy EDPM liner. And then we'll build out all our wicking bed systems like we've talked about before. So, anyway, place is a wreck back here with rebuilding stuff this winter. I'm hoping to get my arms around it pretty soon. Get everything cleared up and cleaned up. But let's take a look in here. There's little chickens. Eat your lettuce I gave you. These guys are about as tame as cats at this point. You got to be careful you don't step on them. And, oh girl, yeah. They've started giving me eggs again. Yeah, four chickens, 4 eggs. I'll have to pick those up in a bit. They had that baby duck they were raising, and they quit laying. All 4 of them quit laying, even though only 3 of them had gone broody. And we recently gave that little duck to some folks that bought some ducks from us. And as soon as that duck was gone, within about 2 days, they started laying again. Got a little rafting action going on here. This is a bed in rebuild mode. I actually have to, and I've made a decision on my return lines, even though it's about 10 bucks a piece. Every single one of my return lines, these are 1 1/4. I'm going to put a inline valve in, dry fit, so whenever I want to do maintenance, I can shut that valve so that we don't have water coming back from the system level, and we can drain these completely. That's something we probably should have done up front, but you learn as you go. Excuse me, this bed's just got some peas coming up. You can see I have like a lettuce mix just starting to come up. That's one of those golden beets. This was actually in the indoor system. I did is I pulled it out. I cut all the greens off, but they were great big, about like up here. And they just replanted it and it's growing back. And I got some chives coming up in here. This bed is got some scarlet runner beans. A bit early for them, but we'll see how they do. Got tons of seeds for that, so no big deal. You can see my peas in this bed. This is the first one planted. It's a lot more advanced. A little tomatillo verde popped in there last night. And then some broccoli. I got broccoli all over the place. And we'll succession cut this. We'll get our heads, then we'll get our shoots. And, you know, in about 2 months, it'll be too damn hot here for broccoli. And we'll already have planted like peppers and stuff in here with them. And we'll just success over to that. Little peas coming up in the back there, a little kale, a little Lanacino dinosaur kale going. These are also those golden beets. So we're gonna be doing a lot with the beet greens this year. Some lettuce, jalapenos, we got some jalapeno peppers, a little tomato plant back there hanging out, another tomatillo. So you see a little transplant shock on those tomatillos. They were planted last night. We got just some pepper plants back over here, some Fresnos and Big Bertha, bells, and another little happy tomato back there, and a tomatillo right there. And these plants are all just picked up at Lowe's. I got a bunch in the greenhouse just starting out, but wanted to get some things going, and they just got everything in stock. It seems that they're ready for people to start planting. That's a bit of a risk. We could get another freeze, but 15 days out, the lowest temperature forecasted is like 42 degrees right now. Most nights it's gonna be in the 50s. So I'm calling it, it's on. We're gonna roll. So yeah, oh, that's what I didn't show you. So remember I had these 2 tanks down here were deep water tanks, and I just decided we have basically too much water in this system and too many places for failures to happen. Every place you put an ebb and flow bait, there's a place you got to fiddle with and dial that in. And we can grow so much in these wicking beds. What I decided to do is convert all of these. Every single thing in this aviary by spring will be converted over to wicking bed. So this one's done last night. And this one here we got like halfway there with. And I need to get some perlite. What I use, instead of landscape fabric, I use about 2 inches of perlite. Perlite wicks really, really good. So it's a nice way to create a stratification layer, keep your dirt out of your lava rock here. But at the same time, you know, it's not something that's going to break down over time. That perlite will last as long as the system will. So we've been really happy with the results. All of these are built with perlite, and I need to pick some more perlite up before I go ahead and fill this one. But it kind of gives you an overview of how it works. We've got a stand-up pipe down in there. You know, we've got our lava rock down there. We'll have our separating layer, whatever that will be, in place here. And, you know, our return line. Like I said, I've already got shut-off valves in these return lines, and that's what I'm talking about. I want to do that everywhere, because let's say I want to drain this right now. If I pull that out, I'm going to start draining the whole system down to the system level. It's going to come out of that return line back pressure. But if I shut that valve and pull it out on this side, well, then this side's going to drain and that's going to stay. And that's just a much easier way to keep up with things. How you doing, little quail? Daggone quail have gotten like cats too. You got to make sure you don't step on them. You might not feel them until it's too late. There's Big Mama. Anyway, kind of that's where I'm at with things. I've got some stuff at the greenhouse I'll show you real quick, and we'll wrap up for the day. I think I got a rat in this greenhouse. I'm gonna have to trap his ass because something's eating my golden beets in the one bed. And I just happen to know that rats like Swiss chard and golden beets. You see, I didn't cut those. That's a Ratus. He needs to go, chomping on my beets, but everything else is looking pretty good. Apparently he doesn't like celery or bloody dock, and he's not a big fan of the watercress either, I guess. But he's not bothering this bed, so it's a bit more advanced. Let's take a look at how this stuff's done. Remember, this was only planted like 3 weeks ago. Remember those little bitty lettuce plants I showed you? Where I went out and I bought, you know, one Bonnie's lettuce plant, but it had like 5 of them in it, and I just washed all the roots and broke them out. That's what this is, all this romaine. We got a scarlet runner here. We got a tomato, and that's not blight. It got cold enough in here that it basically got some frost tip burn. So we'll see how that is. Look at the Swiss chard, man. I mean, it is just beautiful. Now, so I gotta get rid of that rat before he decides to move on over here. Watercress, another scarlet runner bean. And scarlet runners, the way I did those, I just soaked the seeds overnight and I just put them in this this expanded shell cap that we have on these systems. And I'm learning you can start a lot of stuff when you go to this expanded shell cap from seed right in your bed. And that's great because the plant never gets disturbed then. Anyway, figured you might want an update of where we're at. A little chicken cam to finish it up. I know you guys want your sunflowers. You gotta wait. It's gonna be about 3 or 4 more days. Sorry. And we'll catch up with you soon.